Hello everybody and welcome back. We are playing some Persona 2. I almost did it again. I almost said Innocent Punish. Oh my god, now I'm mixing up the two. I almost said Innocent Sin, but now I'm just jumbling the titles because I want to say the right thing. Anyway, we are playing Eternal Punishment. And we just started this sub-story with Tatsuya leading into Club Zodiac and seeing what kind of mess has been going on in there. So let's see what we can find out in this episode. Alright, so who are you? Lady who entered the back earlier, she was such a babe. That's the kind that's way too classy for a place like that. This, why did she come here? You think maybe she divorced her middle-aged husband and came here to drink away her sorrow? Meaning if I hit on her now, chances are high I'd strike out? Jesus Christ. If there was a button to slap you, I would. Joker, who cares what he does as long as I'm having fun? Tatsuya, I'll never forgive you for this. That awesome lady from earlier entered the back. I wonder what kind of person she is. Think she rolls with the bad crowd? We need to get information. Wang Long Chuzuru, the fortune teller, is hot as hell. Just once I'd love it if she'd give me a reading in person, but you figured that'd be pricey, huh? Now how about you? She might have been beautiful, but she had an air about her like she was definitely twisted on the inside. No, for real. And anyway, don't talk about other women right in front of me. Douche. The DJ had his fortune come true, but I'm not getting any luck in Wang Long these days. How come it's just me? 'Cause you stopped believing. Oh. Oh, Lord. Okay. Pump it up, y'all. You gotta hear my fresh beats, my Kanada flavor. Bars. Fortune telling's the bomb. I don't work. Okay. You need fortunes in your life. So do I. So do you. Hell yeah. Oh, that's awful. That's atrocious. We're leaving. I'm not hanging around for that. On the other side, the hallway had a cheap-looking upholstery, spangled with constellations to match Club Zodiac's name. Here it had been changed to Chinese-style red upholstery. Nakamura had said the proprietor had changed. I wonder if they were trying to set up a Chinese restaurant in the interior. Now don't make assumptions, Tatsuya. Then a few winged monsters I'd never seen before dropped down from the hallway ceiling. They were not altogether hornets, nor crabs, nor ants, nor vampire bats, but creatures unpleasantly, horrifically eerie. If I wasn't awakened to my persona, just looking upon them might have driven me mad and sent me screaming from the room. That's how big of a punch they packed. They snapped back their wings with the whip-like crack, and a malicious buzz started emanating from their abdomens, which were swollen like a hornet's. They had mouths on what looked to be their heads, but it seemed their voices came from below. I couldn't quite pronounce it correctly myself, but I heard noises like Biyaki, or Bayake, and Lala Haster. At any rate, they were probably his bright idea. This meant that there would be demons past this point. You're telling me to do a warm-up, huh? Sorry, but I'm not gonna waste my time swatting flies. Get out of here, now. When I grumbled that to him, who was watching from somewhere, they made that grating la-la noise from their abdomen, and simultaneously they flew with incredible vigor through the narrow hallway at me. We've faced these enemies before. If not in Innocent Sin, we've faced them in the original game. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try that. Let's see how well that works. Beautiful. Lovely. Fantastic. Couldn't have done it any better myself. Oh, wait. Hey. I still don't know why we have that much health. That's crazy to me, but hey, it is what it is. When they died, the monsters foamed violently like dry ice. Then they vanished, leaving behind a nose-twisting stench. Couldn't afford to drag my feet here. I needed the other key that Nakamura forgot in the staff room in order to enter the VIP floor further in. It'd be easy to bust down a single door, but there was a policewoman inside. If I made a show of busting up the club, I'd get Nakamura in trouble, and the other me would get accused of a crime he wouldn't remember committing. I wanted to do this as carefully as possible. I ran in, heading for the staff room. Oh, I thought you were just gonna, like, bring us there. Okay. Oh no. Okay, good. I was like, oh no, that's no good. Oh, okay, even better. You can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, fool. Try and stop me. I don't know if we want to hit the stairs yet. Let's check the whole bottom floor, see if we didn't miss anything. Because I don't want to do that. Oh, that's what level they're anticipating us to be? Level 32? Surprised we aren't doing this a lot faster then. Now that's what I'm talking about. Damn it, there's stairs there too. Okay, I'm gonna guess that's a fire elemental. It's Demeter. They changed the whole robe and everything. Let's go for a physical attack and see what that does. Oh no.
You are not good enough.
Oh, cool. This too was unquestionably a secret room, but Shiori Miyashiro was nowhere inside. According to Yoshizaka, it seems she requested her own death so she could arrest Joker. Normally, a single detective wouldn't go that far. It also concerned me that she forbade contact with any police officer besides my brother. There must be something else going on. Could it have been that there's more connection between the police and Joker? I spotted the key on top of the table, but when I tried to approach, the corners of the room twisted mushily with a nauseating stench, and from the twisted space, several filthy tentacles stretched out. I jumped back and just barely evaded them as the tentacles flung a thick mucus across the entire room. Smoke rose violently from the walls. This thing's limbs were melting them. Something was trying to rip through dimensions, using the tentacles stretched to the walls as a foothold and force its way into this side. The walls crawled and so did my flesh. I'd never seen this thing until now either. It seemed the demons on this side were more grotesque and in worse taste than the other ones I'd seen on the other side. La, Shub. I'm not saying that. Its body was at once like a festering cloud, an octopus, and a twisted tree, when its many mucus-discharging mouths set my teeth on edge. Why are you putting your teeth out like that? Its black feet were split like a goat hooves. If a normal person had seen this monster, they'd probably have gone insane. Yeah, you said that the first time, too. When you awaken to your persona ability, to the other you who possesses the power like gods and demons, you become able to summon a persona. If you call forth a god who holds the sway over fire like my Apollo, you can even manipulate flames at will. In the depths of human hearts, shared with all people, there is a domain where mythological archetypes dwell, and they grant an influence over an individual's personality development. Maya said that the anecdotes of mythological divinities the world over probably exist because of that. Gods and demons exist, not in heaven, not in hell, but in the hearts of humanity. Personas even have an influence on physical and mental abilities. My ability to wield a sword like a master and my resistance to terror are both thanks to my persona. Gods and demons are not the only archetypes sleeping in the human heart. If the collective unconsciousness is where all the human psyches are born and return to, that means I too exist somewhere in the world of the subconscious as a master of arms. But neither you nor I belong on this side. Go home. If I didn't settle things fast, I'd suffocate on this thing's stench and the reek of the burning walls. I might have been a persona user, but if I couldn't breathe, I'd die. Well, no shit. Good job, Sherlock.
Not good enough.
Um, you're weak to that. Let's try this. Holy shit. The second I managed to kick that pseudo goat out of this world, I grabbed a VIP floor key and leapt out of that stinking room. When Nakamura saw that state inside, he screamed. I tried my best to be careful though. I hoped he wouldn't blame the other me afterwards. Alright, so we gotta go back downstairs, is what you're telling me? No, get back down there.
Don't get in my way.
What level are you? Oh, you chose the death gaze? I was hoping for the do impressions. Oh no.
You are not good enough.
Damn it. Now we need items. Okay. Now let's open. Okay, never mind.
You okay with that? You are not good enough.
Oh, shoot.
You okay with that? You are not good enough.
So he's not fully... He's not fully taken over. Like, it's not really him, per se. It's more of like... He's... just taken over the body. So as if the other Tatsuya still lives on. What is it you want to ask? Your age. If looks could kill. Now I have to keep doing this.
There's no need for worry.
There.
You are not good enough. You okay with that?
Nice. Come on, you can do it.
You are not good enough.
Lovely. Pretty sure we went over there the last time, so let's go here.
You okay with that?
Hopefully this does something. Oh no, I don't have anything for that, so can you not? What's this?
You okay with that?
Okay, you ready?
Sorry about that.
Okay, we'll go ahead and use. A couple of those. This dream, again? I was so sick of it. It was all because lately I'd been doing research on number 501 right after getting off work. I hadn't slept well at all. When I leaned my back on the wall next to the VIP floor entrance, I started lucid dreaming while upright. A golden butterfly danced in a round room that was encircled by pillars. Its flight pattern was even frailer than usual, but I knew what was about to happen. I mean, the butterfly was just gonna turn into a masked person and ask me my name, like always. My kid brother had bugged me into playing this weird game, and ever since, I've had this dream over and over again. Sure enough, the butterfly vanished, and the masked person took its place. There is something unusual, though. Their androgynous voice was harder to hear, and their body had gone dim and see-through. Now that I thought about it, the space between the pillars was redder and hazier than usual, too. It doesn't matter how many times you ask, I won't tell you. Besides, nobody ever believed me when I told the truth anyway. I had seen him, the man who dismembered my little brother. What I wanted to know was the butterfly person's name. You want to know mine? Tell me yours first. No, now that I was an adult, it was different. What I wanted to know was whether the rumor was true or not. That the rumor that Joker is Tatsuya Sudo, the monstrous serial killer from 10 years ago, who was never caught. Becoming a policewoman let me figure out that the culprit was Tatsuya Sudo, son of Tatsuya Sudo, and the incumbent Minister of Foreign Affairs. I had no proof, though. In which case, I'd just have to prove that the culprit from back then and Joker were one and the same, just as the rumor said, and then figure out where he was. It had taken me 10 years to get to this point. My memories had gotten all mixed up. Just then, I heard the door unlock and the knob turn. I drew my P230 JP from my back slide holster, pulled back the hammer, and disengaged the manual safety. The trigger would be then if I just released the safety and shot using double action. Ever since the investigation bureau for number 501 had formed, the order for all the officers to be armed had been officially given to the Juvenile Division, a cooperating jurisdiction. The entrance opened quietly, and a tall shadow entered the dim dance floor, backdropped by the lighting. He carried a cylindrical weapon turned over his hand, and it looked like a sword, which matched the weapon wounds of number 501's victims according to the forensic investigations. This is the police. Throw down your weapon. My voice sounded hoarse as I yelled that, aiming at the shadow's head from the side. I could have used a hot green tea. Shiori Miyashiro, right? I have my gun aimed at your head. Throw down your weapon. The shadow barely moved, as if he were a statue, and I didn't know if he was prepared for this. He immediately released his lethal weapon. I kicked it away from where it fell on the floor, then shouted at him again with my gun still trained on him. You're under arrest for being in violation of the Swords and Firearms Control Law. Hands behind your head and drop to your knees. He placed his hands on the back of his head and obediently dropped to his knees. I couldn't let my guard down, though. His victims weren't just cut down. There were some where it seemed like they were eaten alive. Who knew what kind of deadly weapon he had hidden on him? If he showed me even the slightest sign of resisting, I intended to gun him down without hesitation. Japanese police officers can't do shooting practice beyond 36 bullets worth a year, so it's difficult for us to hit a moving target. Not to mention, there was no way you could stop a homicidal maniac and junkies with a single 32 caliber bullet. Overseas, there's controversy over whether even a 9mm caliber bullet would even have enough force. Of course, there's probably a problem using excessive force. Truth is, though, I wanted number 501 dead. He was clearly the culprit. Even if I secured him, he'd receive a non-indictment due to being of unsound mind, get us institutionalized, and if I was unlucky, be back on the streets before a few months had passed. He'd leave, free as a bird, without anyone asking what his crime was. In this country, there's no judicial institution in a place to handle mentally impaired people who've committed atrocious crimes. Involuntary institutionalization ultimately only targets the mental disability. They can't handle them as criminals. Consequently, once it's been judged that there is no fear of them harming themselves or others, they must be discharged immediately, even if the very doctor who examined them felt there was a risk of recidivism. There have been several movements trying to introduce measures preserving law and order with stronger binding force. However, they've been stymied many times over because of strong protest from the opposing faction that touts protection of human rights. So then, what about the human rights of the victims? The rights of the victims who one day had their uneventful but happy lives ripped from them all of a sudden, and all of those left behind. The perpetrator wasn't in a normal state of mind. They're incapable of taking responsibility. Are you telling me to fucking accept that? Edgelord! My loved one's life and future were unreasonably stolen, and the man responsible gets protected in the name of human rights. This is the status quo for this country's administration of justice. Are you crying? It's natural for someone to tear up when they're tense. He could see the corners of my eyes in this dim light. Whatever, it wasn't his damn business. Also, that's a wooden sword. The shadow jutted his chin at the weapon on the floor. I glanced at it without turning my head and confirmed it was true. The hallway light streaming in from the door illuminated a wooden sword. I couldn't charge him with the violation of the Swords and Firearms Control Law. Can I get up now? No. You may still have committed unlawful assembly with deadly weapons. What's your name? Tatsuya Shibata. Tatsuya Shibata. I turned the hall lights on with the remote in my other hand, then looked at the shadow's face. While there was intensity in it, this was definitely a young man. I guessed he was about 17, 18 years old. He looked like Sergeant Shibata. Was he former Detective Shibata's child? What was he doing here? Was he Joker? I was confused. Do you have any ID? I think there's a driver's license in my wallet. I rode a motorbike to school. I doubt it's unregistered. He talked about himself like he was someone else. What a weird kid. Where's your wallet? My back pants pocket. Stand up slowly, place your hands on the wall and spread your legs. Once he obeyed my directions, I gave him a quick pat down. He didn't possess any other weapons. Inside his wallet there was a normal motorbike license, this so-called mid-license. There was his picture and name. This was Tatsuya Shibata, alright. Okay, turn this way, keep your hands where I can see them. He obeyed me without question. At least his face and photo matched up at a glance. There is something different about the boy in the photo, who gave a challenging smirk, like he'd fight anyone who looked at him funny. And it was his eyes. What was with this kid's eyes? It was like they sucked me in. What child looked like that? There was a detached quality to his gaze, like he'd resigned himself or accepted something. How did you know my name? Were you the one who picked up on the other end of the line, or did you hear it from your father? The address on his phone IDs definitely matched what I had pinned down for former Detective Shibata. No doubt about it, this kid was his son and Sergeant Shibata's little brother. My dad? No, I saw your business card downstairs. He was probably surprised that I knew his father, given his puzzled expression. I see. Did the people from the club ask you to chase me out, or did you come to kill me? You wouldn't happen to be Joker, would you? No, the club's got nothing to do with it. I came here to warn you because Yoshizaka asked me to. If you stay here, Joker will really kill you. Do you mean the advance notice? If you know about that, then hurry up and go home. You don't understand at all. Your gun won't do a thing. The next moment, I found myself staring blankly at the center of his chest. It took me several seconds to comprehend that he had seized my handgun along with my right hand and pulled me in close. His movements were so hyper-quick, my eyes played tricks on me, making it look like time skipped. He tightly gripped the small automatic handgun in his large, decidedly unboyish left hand. The slide was retreating a bit too. Now even if I pulled the trigger reflexively, it wouldn't shoot. Where in the world did he learn this? I felt the forceful beat on his heart on my cheek, through his bright red bike leathers. When I looked up, I saw the handle of a fruit knife or something similar thrust all the way to the hilt in the wall next to his face. It hadn't been there a second ago. If my face hadn't been buried in his chest just now, that thing might have struck dead on the back of my head. When he removed his right hand, which held my head, he pulled out the knife next to his head, while glowering at a spot further inside the club. The blade's just about 10 centimeters long, but all of it had sunk into the wall. The physical strength of the person who threw it was impressive enough, but this kid who casually pulled it out was amazing too. How long have you been there? From the start, dumbass. At Tatsuya's question, the voice of another man behind me responded. It sounded like he was a good distance away. It's been a long time since I had booze. Here I was just thinking over a drink or five about how to axe that broad when you get right in the fucking way. The voice's owner, number 501. It seemed that until this boy came, I'd been alone with him in the dark. When I arrived, I'd verified that there wasn't anyone in the dance hall. When did he get here? A chill ran up my spine. When I twisted my body around as if to shake off my fear, Tatsuya removed his hand that had been restraining me. Without a moment's delay, I alternated my gun at both him and the direction of the voice. Neither of you move. Throw down your weapons. Tatsuya didn't so much as glance at me. I too kept my aim and eyes fixated on the man further in. 10 years had gone by, but he looked exactly the same. This was without a doubt the man. The boy who stood next to Takuya's cruelly mangled corpse, his unforgettable crazed smile. I knew he was 501. Tatsuya Sudo, I finally found you. Wee! First time no see, you fucking brat. The voices told me all about you on the other side. Sudo was sprawled out on the sofa deeper inside the dance floor, legs shamelessly stretched across the cushion. He was gulping down an entire bottle of dry gin, dangling from one hand. He'd probably pinched it from the bar counter next to him. He had a 5 o'clock shadow and unkempt hair grown out like a mane, and he was wearing nothing but a coat on his shoulders on top of a patient gown from some hospital somewhere. What a freakish outfit. He was carrying a cylindrical weapon in his left hand. It was an unsheathed Japanese steel. I could arrest him in the flagrant delicto for this alone. Tatsuya walked right up to that Sudo without a trace of fear. At some point he picked up the wooden sword I knew I kicked away. He was next to me this whole time, and how he picked it up. Flustered, I hurried after him. So you're Joker on this side, Tatsuya Sudo. Seems like something he'd do. These two clearly knew each other, but Sudo said that this was his first time. What did they mean by the other side? Who did they mean by he? Was it supposed to be Tatsuya Sudo, the subject of all these unsavory rumors? I'm a stand-in, you know, a stand-in, just till the real one graces me with his awakening. The real Joker ain't me. You'd know that. The best of all, though, wouldn't you? Yeah, June isn't a filthy murderer like you. You're Tatsuya Sudo. You can't just take Joker's place. Yeah, true. But he ain't got an ugly mug like me. Thanks for the tip, you fucking brat. What I need is a mask. Joker's mask. Sudo uttered a vulgar snicker and gulped down the rest of the bottle. The booze that spilled out of his mouth tracked down his throat and drenched his blood-stained hospital gown. The one gracing him, Joker standing? What in the world did they know that I didn't? Pseudo, it's not too late. You can still start over. Don't listen to his voice any longer. Start over? I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but even 10 years ago, this piece of shit killed a whole lot of people. You can't bring the dead back to life. The detective shouldn't say anything like that, but right then, all I could do was scream it out. It didn't matter if he had turned over a new leaf, it still wouldn't bring Takuya back. Tatsuya glanced at me with a slightly shocked expression. You know, that thermodynamics first law thing? It's all heat and energy. There's only so much of it to go around, and you can't change what all you got. Get it? There's a fixed volume of energy in the universe. It's all just got a different form. That's how it is. This fate shit's just the same. You got one guy who gets to be all happy, so another guy's got to be unhappy to make up for it. Like the meals you eat, right? You throw away what you can't polish off, right? In return, some asshole starves to death somewhere in a world. I get it now. The voices are amazing. Voices. That Broad's kid brother, he was your stand-in. My stand-in? That day you little shits changed your fate and ran off with your tails tucked in, he got axed by me in your stead. You get it, right? Tatsuya watched my face with widened eyes while listening to his story. I couldn't take my eyes off him either. Takuya was this boy's replacement? Incoming phone call. I got an order to kill Maya Amano. The moment Pseudo said that, a shadow that looked like a crimson figure flared up from Tatsuya's body and assaulted Pseudo. A black figure seethed out of Pseudo's body too. The two men all of a sudden were locked in mortal combat. Over Tatsuya and Pseudo's heads, their shadows clashed in the same form. Scarlet and sable flames intertwined and whirled by all through dance. Floated like two snakes trying to swallow each other whole. Several bottles that had been left on the counter exploded, and alcohol-fumed flames ran all over the countertop. This is Joker, the persona your sins sired. How do you like it? He looks just like you. Lay one finger on Maya and I swear I'll hunt you down and kill you like the dog you are. Every time, in every world. And whose fault is that bitch died, huh? Whose fault is it the other side got blown to hell? Shut up. You killed them all. I almost feel sorry for him. Take a good hard look at my persona's happy fucking face. Loser. Murderer. Pseudo. Oh yeah, get mad. Get madder. Let the voices take you. Voices, brat. Voices. Boy. Sis. What have we got going on? Yeah, let's do Gigantic Fist. Now, let's try Fire. Oh. come on. Oh, yeah, we get that move too. So where did he go? That's what I was thinking too. Where did he go? Block. You don't get it, do you? It's alright. That's alright, we got it. Block. That's right. The charred dance floor was choked with smoke. Tatsuya stood in the center with slumped shoulders and let the water gushing from the sprinkler strike him. Pseudo sword thrust into the floor in front of me brought to mind a grave marker. In the rain, he was a solitary silhouette reminiscing on a lover lost a long, long time ago. Lone shadow. Lone shadow. He struck like a desolate figure, like something torn out of a movie by that kind of title. Maybe the fury I'd caught a glimpse of a moment ago had been a dream. The flames had already been extinguished, but no fire alarm had gone off. Had one not been installed, or was it turned off? Either way, that was a violation of the Fire Services Act. Oh god, come on. Pseudo had escaped. Just before Tatsuya's wooden sword could split his face in two, he'd vanished, as if sucked into a round patch of darkness that had opened up in midair. For a long time after that, Tatsuya stood stock still. I just watched him. We were both soaked from head to toe. At last, head still bowed, he pulled the sword Pseudo had left behind and murmured, subdued, "What was your brother's name?" "Takuya. If he had lived, he would be about your age." "Can I ask when he died?" "It was a sweltering summer night, 10 years ago, August the blank blank, on the grounds of the shrine in Renegade. I found him. Pseudo had just thrown Takuya's head into the underbrush and was about to run away." "That's the day. How could this be?" Tatsuya's face Tatsuya faced me with a look like he wished he could be anywhere but here. The golden retriever that Takuya and I kept when we were kids often had that look when our mom got mad at him. But this kid could never be someone's pet dog. He was more like a wounded lion who had removed himself from the pride. The only people who ever believed me when I said I saw Pseudo's face were your father and one other police officer. Your father promised me he'd arrest Pseudo. 3 days after that, your father was discharged for accepting bribes. Purportedly, Purportedly, he'd accepted multiple bribes in compensation for disclosing information info to organized crime groups. It was complete bullshit. Your father had been set up by Pseudo's father and another police officer. His partner betrayed him. Damn it, there was no stopping it now. This wasn't my story to share, but it wasn't fair to get him to tell me everything he knew if I didn't spill my guts too. Whatever this burden the kid was carrying, I wanted to share it. I couldn't help but feel like if I didn't, he'd end up falling into a bottomless hell. I was sure he was just barely keeping his balance on a very thin edge, much like the blade he now had in hand. There was no way it was okay for a teenage boy to make a face like that. But you know, it was only just recently that I learned myself. I always held a grudge against your dad. That's why I became a cop. I thought the police weren't trustworthy. I'm sorry. Your father was a fine police officer. He took responsibility for a crime he didn't commit to protect you, your brother, me, and the backstabbing friend from Pseudo. It must have killed him inside. Oh. Might have just made things worse. I didn't have the silver key to open the door he had shut tight. I wagered the only one who did this was Maya Amano. But whether with the wire or whatever, I wanted to meddle anyway and pick that lock open. I'm so sorry. What Pseudo said was true. It's my fault your little brother died. At that point, I still had no concept whatsoever of the conscious size or palpable weight of the sins he'd shouldered. To be continued. How was your trip? Perhaps you have come to understand Master Tatsuya Shibata's suffering a hair more. I will keep the memory shard in my care, so in the event you would like to review it, please let me know. Thank you, Igor. And now we have some extra money, which is great. And also, we now have an ending to this episode. What a crazy episode. A lot of dialogue, which I'm very happy about because we get to kind of build upon Tatsuya and the relationship with his brother and Pseudo and all these other characters. And we get introduced to another character, which is good. That means I'm pretty sure Maya will be introduced with this character as well. So, I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. And 1K gang. Let's go.